The third set of scriptures that God has had me reading today are in Joel 2, Ezekiel 4, and Ezekiel 12. Joel 2. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm on my holy hill. Let all who live in the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. It is close at hand, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and blackness, like dawn spreading across the mountains. A large and mighty army comes, such as never was in ancient times, nor ever will be in ages to come. Before them fire devours, behind them a flame blazes. Before them the land is like the Garden of Eden, behind them a desert waste. Nothing escapes them. They have the appearance of horses, they gallop along like cavalry. With a noise like that of chariots, they leap over mountain tops, like a crackling fire consuming stubble, like a mighty army drawn up for battle. At the sight of them, nations are in anguish. Every face turns pale. They charge like warriors, they scale walls like soldiers. They all march in line, not swerving from their course. They do not jostle each other. Each marches straight ahead. They plunge through defenses without breaking ranks. They rush upon the city. They run along the wall. They climb into the houses like thieves. They enter through the windows. Before them the earth shakes, the heavens tremble, the sun and moon are darkened, and the stars no longer shine. The Lord thunders at the head of his army. His forces are beyond number, and mighty is the army that obeys his command. The day of the Lord is great. It is dreadful. Who can endure it? Even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning. Rend your heart, not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love, and he relents from sending calamity. Who knows? He may turn and relent and leave behind a blessing, grain offerings and drink offerings for the Lord your God. Blow the trumpet in Zion, declare a holy fast. Call a sacred assembly, gather the people, consecrate the assembly. Bring together the elders, gather the children, those nursing at the breast. Let the bridegroom leave his room and the bride her chamber. Let the priests who minister before the Lord weep between the portico and the altar. Let them say, spare your people, Lord, do not make your inheritance an object of scorn, a byword among the nations. Why should they say among the peoples, where is their God? Then the Lord was jealous for his land and took pity on his people. The Lord replied to them, I'm sending you grain, new wine, and olive oil, enough to satisfy you fully. Never again will I make you an object of scorn to the nations. I will drive the northern horde far from you, pushing it into a parched and barren land. Its eastern ranks will drown in the Dead Sea, and its western ranks in the Mediterranean Sea. And its stench will go up, its smell will rise. Surely he has done great things. Do not be afraid, land of Judah. Be glad and rejoice. Surely the Lord has done great things. Do not be afraid, you wild animals, for the pastures in the wilderness are becoming green. The trees are bearing their fruit. The fig and the vine yield their riches. Be glad, people of Zion. Rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the autumn rains because he is faithful. He sends you abundant showers, both autumn and spring rains, as before. The threshing floors will be filled with grain. The vats will overflow with new wine and oil. I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten, the great locust and the young locust, the other locust and the locust swarm, my great army that I sent among you. You will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed. Then you will know that I am in Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and that there is no other. Never again will my people be shamed. And afterward I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions. Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days. I will show wonders in the heavens and on earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. For on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there will be deliverance, as the Lord has said, even among the survivors whom the Lord calls. Bear with me because I'm still trying to understand what God is speaking to me, but he's led me to Ezekiel 4 and 12. And what I keep feeling is that this is warning, and that he's saying what's going to happen to you guys. That's what he has me speaking today. And some of you may say, well, this was already fulfilled. This isn't about us. Well, guess what? It is. This is part of the reason why he had me reading about Zechariah and the two sticks, because he wants me to understand and relay to you the judgment that he brought on those he extended the first covenant to, and the judgment he's bringing now on those he's extended the second covenant to, the new covenant. And in fact, he says that Judah's sin is even worse. And of course he says that because he sent his son. So there's no excuse anymore. In the past, he overlooked such ignorance. Now he requires everyone everywhere to repent. So why aren't you guys doing it? Why don't you hear the message? Why don't you understand the covenant? Why was I in this dialogue with someone who was fighting me this morning over just go return to God? You don't need to prove yourself to me. Go return to God. But I'll tell you why. Because God tells Ezekiel why. And we can see in Revelation that the very things that he's doing and saying with John are being done with Ezekiel. The 4 living creatures, the eating of the scroll where it turns sour in John's stomach, or it turns or in with Ezekiel, he goes in the anger, he eats the scroll and it's sweet as honey in his mouth, and then he goes in the anger and bitterness of his spirit to go speak to the obstinate people of Israel who won't listen to the message because they don't listen to God. But God tells his prophets, I'm going to make you as unyielding as they are. I'm going to make your forehead like flint. And that's exactly what he did with me today. I'm not having it. I'm not going to succumb to someone else's justification of themselves. God certainly does not allow that in me. Why would I set up that stumbling block before you? Go return to God. Some of you care more about what I think of you for no good reason than you do about what God thinks of you. He should be the one, the only one. You should be going to him first, and then you'll know how to relate with human beings. You need to understand that the Old Testament, you're not exempt from the Old Testament. If you don't understand the Old Testament, you can't possibly understand the New. There's not a separate list of rules for natural-born Israelites than there are for you. And you can't understand the Old Testament without understanding the New. If you love God, then you'll take him as a whole, not as a cherry-picked, fabricated being. Ezekiel 4. Now, son of man, take a block of clay, put it in front of you, and draw the city of Jerusalem on it. Then lay siege to it. Erect siege works against it. Build a ramp to it. Set up camps against it. Put battering rams around it. Then take an iron pan. Place it as an iron wall between you and the city, and turn your face toward it. It will be under siege, and you will besiege it. This will be a sign to the people of Israel. Then lie on your left side and put the sin of the people of Israel upon yourself. You are to bear their sin for the number of days you lie on your side. I have assigned to you the same number of days as the years of their sin. So for 390 days you will bear the sin of the people of Israel. After you have finished this, lie down again, this time on your right side, and bear the sin of the people of Judah. I have assigned you 40 days, a day for each year. Turn your face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and with bared arm prophesy against her. I will tie you up with ropes so that you cannot turn from one side to the other until you have finished the days of your siege. Take wheat and barley, beans and lentils, millet and spelt. Put them in a storage jar and use them to make bread for yourself. You are to eat it during the 390 days you lie on your side. Weigh out 20 shekels of food to eat each day, and eat it at set times. Also measure out 1/6 of a hin of water and drink it at set times. Eat the food as you would a loaf of barley bread. Bake it in the sight of the people using human excrement for fuel. The Lord said, in this way the people of Israel will eat defiled food from among the nations where I drive them. Is it glamorous to be a prophet? Just wondering, because y'all are listening to false prophets go into your counterfeit churches and speak a blessing over you that God speaks over you when you actually listen to him. Ezekiel is being told to cook his food over human poop. Is this glamorous? Because I'm living without water. And the reason I'm living without water right at this very moment is because God is perfectly capable of bringing the water out of the pipes, which he's done for days and days. He was doing it. And today I'm without water because he's speaking this message as a sign through me. And I'm not happy about it. You need to listen. You need to hear what he has been saying. What he's done before and what he will do again. And let me tell you something, it's going to be worse than the first time he fulfilled it. Then I said, Not so, sovereign Lord. I've never defiled myself. From my youth until now, I've never eaten anything found dead or torn by wild animals. No impure meat has ever entered my mouth. Very well, very well, he said. I will let you bake your bread over cow dung instead of human excrement. And then he said to me, Son of man, I'm about to cut off the food supply in Jerusalem. Listen, I'm about to cut off the food supply in Jerusalem. The people will eat rationed food in anxiety and drink rationed water in despair. For food and water will be scarce. They will be appalled at the sight of each other and will waste away because of their sin. I've spoken this message to you guys before. Many times he had me speaking about sword, famine, wild beast, and plague. So, I've asked it. I speak the message, and then he's the one who decides when he's going to fulfill it. I have no power over that. But he has me speaking this now. And the very next chapter is about that razor of judgment. What's the razor? I taught you. The razor is described in Isaiah when he talks about how God hardens the people so that they can't see, hear, or understand. And they are shaved off of the remnant that's actually going to be saved. That's the razor of judgment. Ezekiel 12. He's going to say it again, so pay attention. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, you are living among a rebellious people. They have eyes to see, but do not see, and ears to hear, but they do not hear. For they are a rebellious people. There's the hardening. Do you understand? By the way, for those who obey God, for those who've returned to God and have biblical faith, who are very few, you will have water to drink. You will have food to eat, but the rest of you will not. God is doing this as a sign through me. Is he building me in the process? Yeah, absolutely. And he's purifying me and working my covenant through me. But I understand the difference between God's judgment and him using me as a sign. And this is how I understand it today. This is a sign to you. Therefore, Son of man, pack your belongings for exile, and in the daytime as they watch, set out and go from where you are to another place. Perhaps they will understand, though they are a rebellious people. During the daytime, while they watch, bring out your belongings packed for exile. Then in the evening, while they are watching, go out like those who go into exile. While they watch, dig through the wall and take your belongings out through it. Put them on your shoulder as they are watching, and carry them out at dusk. Cover your face so that you cannot see the land, for I have made you a sign to the Israelites. So I did as I was commanded. During the day I brought out my things packed for exile. Then in the evening I dug through the wall with my hands. I took my belongings out at dusk, carrying them on my shoulders while they watched. In the morning the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, did not the Israelites, that rebellious people, ask you, what are you doing? Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. This prophecy concerns the prince in Jerusalem and all the Israelites who are there. Say to them, I am a sign to you. As I have done, so it will be done to them. They will go into exile as captives. The prince among them will put his things on his shoulder and at dusk and leave, and a hole will be dug in the wall for him to go through. He will cover his face so that he cannot see the land. I will spread my net for him, and he will be caught in my snare. I will bring him to Babylonia, the land of the Chaldeans, and he will not see it, and there he will die. I will scatter to the winds all those around him, his staff and all his troops, and I will pursue them with drawn sword. Then they will know that I am the Lord when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them through the countries. But I will spare a few of them from the sword. Listen, but I will spare a few of them from the sword, famine, and plague, so that in the nations where they go, they may acknowledge all their detestable practices. Then they will know that I am the Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, tremble as you eat your food and shudder in fear as you drink your water. Say to the people of the land, this is what the sovereign Lord says about those living in Jerusalem and in the land of Israel. They will eat their food in anxiety and drink their water in despair. For their land will be stripped of everything in it because of the violence of all who live there. The inhabited towns will be laid waste and the land will be desolate. Then you will know that I am the Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, what is this proverb you have in the land of Israel? The days go by, and every vision comes to nothing. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I'm going to put an end to this proverb, and they will no longer quote it in Israel. Say to them, the days are near when every vision will be fulfilled. For there will be no more false visions or flattering divinations among the people of Israel. By the way, every vision will be fulfilled. Is he talking about the end? Yeah, he is. But I, the Lord, will speak what I will, and it shall be fulfilled without delay. For in your days, you rebellious people, I will fulfill whatever I say, declares the sovereign Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, the Israelites are saying, the vision he sees is for many years from now, and he prophesies about the distant future. Therefore say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. None of my words will be delayed any longer. Whatever I say will be fulfilled, declares the sovereign Lord. Do you see the sign of Ezekiel? Son of man, tremble as you eat your food, and shudder in fear as you drink your water. Say to the people of the land, this is what the sovereign Lord says about those living in Jerusalem and in the land of Israel. They will eat their food in anxiety and drink their water in despair, for their land will be stripped of everything in it because of the violence of all who live there. The inhabited towns will be laid waste, and the land will be desolate. And again, Amos says in Amos 8:11, the days are coming, declares the sovereign Lord, when I will send a famine through the land, not a famine of food or a thirst for water, but a famine of hearing the words of the Lord. You decide which is worse, physical famine or spiritual famine. I have to speak this message before God restores my water because he's using it as a sign. And I'm well aware of that I have to be used however God wants to use me. I hope you discern the message with him.